Melissa. Thank you for getting on this call today to go over a brief overview of what your experience was with managing the property yourself and what brought you to look for a management company.
Yeah, so I got into property ownership by accident. I inherited a property probably about 7 years ago and kind of stumbled my way through, managing it, having tenants, figuring out how to do rent and all that kind of stuff. I did okay, but I ran into a huge issue last year where there's some mold in the property. All the vendors I was using fell through. It was the middle of a pandemic. I couldn't find anyone. And, I was calling multiple property management companies and interviewing, and you were the first person that got back to me. You answered my questions, and in the conversations we had, I felt like, okay, she's, able and willing to handle the problem. I like that you guys have your own vendors to do the projects and things like that. So that really attracted me to your services. And, I had this huge problem, and you walked me through it. You walked my tenant through it. You guys were kind. You got the work done quickly. And for me, that was everything. So I, for my tenants, for myself, you took a lot of pressure off. And I was worried about, legal aspects and things like that I didn't know anything about. And I kind of felt like, hey, something big happened over my head. And, I reached out to your company, and you guys really, really helped me out.
And what was your time commitment to trying to manage the property yourself through the challenging mold situation? How much time do you think you were spending per week trying to self-manage that?
It was probably during that time frame. I, just had a ton of things going on due to COVID and things like that. We were in quarantine, so I was basically unable to go to the property to do anything. And so I spent probably 6-7 hours a day at that time looking, calling, like, hey, I just need someone to get out there to look at this. Hey, I need someone to get out there. And I was getting timelines of, hey, it's going to take you, 4 to 5 months to get anyone. And, as that's a safety issue. I can't have mold in the house. And the mold company left the property in disarray. And so I was trying to find contractors and people to come out to do the walls and the floors. And so overall, the time spent wasn't worth, just going to having you guys that specialize in that know what you're doing, that have your connections to do that for me. And you really took the stress off.
And then once we took over, what was your time commitment? Was there really anything that you had to do after you hired American Stages?
No, it was very smooth transition. You guys handled everything. You contacted, the tenants that were there. So I didn't have to go through that process. And it was just like, hey, here's the contracts. Here's what we discussed, look over the email and send it back over to you guys. And at that point, I really haven't had to spend any time going through that, that process of, if issues come up, you just let me know, hey, this came up, this is what we did, this is how we handled it, this is how much it's going to be. And it was just like managing the financial end of it for me.
Now that you've hired a property management company, that your property has become like a passive form of income for you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It, like I said, prior to that, there was a lot of time spent me going on weekends to fix random, little stuff. And, it was always something, whether it was a light bulb or, toilet flushed weird, or they heard a weird sound. So I was definitely answering my phone on my work time, on my breaks, calling them back after work, and, not every day or anything like that, but it was a lot. And now I don't really think about it. I just get, my reports. Like I said, I'm handling the financial aspect. I don't really have that same time commitment I did before.
And if you were to do it again, do you think you would have hired a management company sooner?
I had a property management company before, and I had a bad experience. And so that's why I went to trying to do it myself. Now working with you guys, I think that's changed my mind. And yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. I really appreciate it.